So welcome everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Osaze. Insightful and I think perfect for this topic and perfect for this session guest. I call him Joseph, but I'll give him a few minutes to introduce himself. Welcome, Joseph. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Osaze, for having me. Everybody that is looking at me currently, you can see me on your screen basically. So, my name is Joseph Babatunde Ogunsetire, and I know for sure that the reason we are here is actually to discuss about scholarship, opportunities and tips, and some of the things you really need to know if you are willing or if you are looking forward to applying to the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master's Degree Scholarship Program. Not only the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master's Degree Scholarship Program, because this information that we'll be sharing across with you guys would cut across, different kinds of scholarship that you might lay your hands on. So without wasting much time, like I said, my name is Joseph Babatunde Ogunsetire, and I'm a former recipient of the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship in Archimath, which is the archaeological material science. And basically archaeological material science is like, material science applied to cultural heritage objects or artifact, like, they call it. And I got that scholarship in 2021 that gave me the opportunity to travel from Nigeria to Portugal, which was my first country. That's the first mobility country. And after that, I moved to Greece. That is Thessaloniki. Thessaloniki is actually the city in Greece, and afterwards I moved to Italy. That is Rome in Italy. And then I came back to Portugal, where I did my final thesis, and that was all for my Erasmus journey. And currently I'm actually pursuing my PhD here in the University of Otago in New Zealand. And I think I forgot something. Yeah, my bachelor's, right? So I got my bachelor's degree basically at the University of Ibadan, which is in Nigeria, as you guys know. So that's like a brief introduction about who Joseph Babatunde Ogunsetire is academically. Thank you.
I like the way you are highlighting academically. That means there's definitely more. And I got to know Joseph from also a recipient of the Erasmus Scholarship. And Joseph and I, we got selected for the scholarship in the same year, but different programs. My program is more chilled than Joseph archaeological science, and I like the fact that he took his time to introduce or explain what the program briefly is about. Mine was in sport ethics and integrity, and my first mobility was in Belgium. Then I moved to Prague, then I moved to Greece, then went to Germany. So, and I'm currently working as a project manager in Germany in a sport organization. So yes, we are all different career paths. But like Joseph rightly said, one of the reasons why I decided to have this session with Joseph, not just because he's also a YouTuber that has a lot of information on his page. I'll pin the link to his YouTube channel. I'll add it to the intro of this video. But also because he's also very experienced. He shares information around this, and also he has the lived experience in the sense that he's an Erasmus scholar. And I get a lot of questions. People reach out to me and they say, okay, how can I do it? How can I do this? How can I get the Erasmus scholarship? What do I need to do? What do I need to prepare? I get these messages a lot. And I said, instead of just doing specific calls, I've had calls with people individually, why don't I just do a video where we talk about all these questions that I get, or probably I'm sure some of them that Joseph have also received in the past, and put everything in one video. So if I get asked anything, I just send this video to them and say, we answered all your question here. So now let's just go straight into it and not bore you with a lot of introduction. So what made you apply for the Erasmus Scholarship, Joseph? What made you apply for the scholarship in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, that's like an amazing question, right? There's always a what, or there's always a why, like the reason for you applying for a scholarship opportunity, right? So we all understand the situation in Nigeria, and now don't get it twisted, don't get me wrong, Nigeria actually is not a problem. But then looking at my discipline, right, I said I had like a bachelor in archaeology, which is actually a bachelor in science. But while it is a Bachelor of Science, the scientific aspect of my discipline wasn't really enough for me at the time. I mean, for that level, it was okay. But moving to the next level, which was a master's program, it wasn't really enough. So I began to ask myself that question, like, how do I tilt towards, or how do I launch myself into the scientific aspect of my discipline? Because the discipline of archaeology is very broad. A lot of people see the discipline from the historical standpoint, but then we deal with material culture, and most of this material culture, they cut across different kind of realities. And by realities, I'm talking about the fact that some materials are organic, some materials are inorganic. So for you to understand organic materials as well as inorganic materials, you need to know the science behind all of these materials. For example, if you find a belt, a leather belt in the archaeological record, say you carry out an excavation, you want to know where that leather, the skin, is coming from. And one of the ways you can do that is to subject that material to scientific analysis that will now tell you, that will be able to give you the information of the origin of that leather. So historically, there might be some problems attached to where and how these materials were made. But when you subject them to scientific techniques, it becomes very easy for you to really know, like, where these materials are coming from. So immediately I got this understanding about my discipline, I started looking for that platform. I started looking for that background, or I started looking for that opportunity. I stumbled upon the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master's Degree Scholarship opportunity. Now, I wouldn't want to say I stumbled upon it, because I want to be exact. I had a friend that got the scholarship, and then he introduced it to me. And when I read about the program and I saw that, yes, this is actually what I wanted, and then I checked my what I have in terms of my results, my experiences in the field, in the lab, and all of that, and I discovered that, yes, I fit in for this position. So I actually applied. So that was it. And luckily for me, I got the scholarship. I actually applied once and I got it once. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you for responding to that question, Joseph. And you talked about how you wanted to transition from doing your bachelor's in Nigeria, doing a lot of research, but you found out that where you are, at the current space you were in Nigeria, you couldn't have the right tools to do this. And I'm sure this is not only your reality, because even me, I had a similar experience. Nigeria is amazing. We are not saying that the educational system is bad or something, but we are all product from, we all had our bachelors in Nigeria. But you need to admit that there are some career spaces that you're currently in that you don't have the opportunity to transition or do more. I studied human kinetics, which was more like a bachelor's in sports science. And I knew that if I wanted to go further, work in the sport field, I couldn't do that in Nigeria, because I did a survey. I looked at people around me, and all the people that had my programs, they all were teaching. They were teachers. I didn't want to teach. At least at that stage, I didn't want to teach. So I knew that I needed a master's degree, but not just a master's degree, but from a professional space. And from one that I could meet people from other parts of the world and be able to see people doing this sports thing, seeing people working in sports, get real experience from people doing planning sporting events or working in sports spaces administratively or managerial, to be able to move further in my career. That was one of the reasons I also applied. So I see that similarities in our experience. But I want to ask another question, because I think the way you've started, it aligns, and I'm sure this is also what some people can also relate to. But you also talked about, or we also know that when you want to choose an Erasmus, or when you want to apply for an Erasmus program, you go to the catalog, or if you direct someone to the catalog, they see like over 100 courses there. And some people are like, oh, I studied mathematics, but I currently am working as a programmer or as a data scientist. Or I studied sports science, but I'm working as a data scientist. But for my master's, I want to do something in data scientist. How can I make this work? So am I going to just pick my experience, or am I just going to I have to follow what I did in my bachelor's? So Joseph, from your experience, what do you think? How can I make this work?
Yeah, I think that's like one of the problems that a lot of undergraduate students face, or even students that are already having a master's degree and are looking forward to pursuing another degree abroad. Yeah, a lot of people have that issue, but it's actually not a big thing. I used to tell people that when you get the catalog, you have to peruse the catalog very well. Use search words to find programs. And another thing that is actually very important about the catalog is it is difficult for you to immediately find. Say for instance you studied biology, you are not going to see biology on the catalog. It's not, to some extent it is not possible. You might see biology in a website that is associated to one of the programs on the catalog. So what you need to do is you have to sweep through, like comb the catalog thoroughly. And when you comb the catalog thoroughly, there are some keywords. For instance, I will always use my degree. Assuming I am just receiving that catalog for the first time, what do? I'll put in the word archaeology. Now, the catalog is I'll put in the word archaeology in the filter because it has a filter. So the catalog is not going to bring me just archaeology, it is going to bring me archaeological materials science. So that's like the difference. So you are getting archaeology, but you are getting something that is added to it. Now they are multidisciplinary. Yeah, that is the word. They are multidisciplinary. So you cannot be looking for a program that is strictly mathematics. You cannot be looking for a program that is strictly human kinetics, just like what Osaze studied in her bachelor's. You can see that when she spoke about her master's, it has something to do with ethics. You studied in your bachelor connects to this master's degree program. Again, emphasis on the word multidisciplinary. Erasmus Mundus joint master's degree scholarship programs are multidisciplinary. So don't get the catalog and start looking for biology. You can look for biological materials and genetic prospection. They try to combine a lot of fields that they know will be very relevant for you. So in the long run, when you are pursuing your program, you will now choose an aspect of that program that you really want to focus on. For example, using Osaze's program as an example, she did something related to sport ethics, understanding the health aspect per se. You can do your final thesis on that. So these are some of the things that you really need to understand about the catalog. Immediately you get it, you have to peruse it. If you don't read the catalog, if you don't study all the programs in the catalog, there is no way you can find a suitable program for yourself. I mean, that is even abilities that you need to show that once you get the catalog, you have to study the catalog properly. And once you do that, you will now be able to find programs that suit your bachelor's background, and then you'll be able to apply. Because even most of the programs, they will explain, right? For example, my program is archaeological material science, but when you read what the program is all about, in the requirement section, there is a place that they will say this program is suitable for students that are having a bachelor's degree in, they will now list archaeology, anthropology, zoology, botany. You see now, you actually are surprised now that how is botany coming into light. You see, so if you do not read this program, you will not understand what they really entails and how they connect with bachelor's degree that they require. So this is something that is also very, very important for you to know.
Okay, thank you, Joseph, for that. I think there's one thing everybody needs to note from his response: multidisciplinary. Erasmus is multidisciplinary. There are some things you have to do for yourself. And in my last video, I was talking about how I promote or I'm encouraging a do-it-yourself perspective. Try doing the research yourself. It even helps you know better what you're getting yourself into. It helps you choose. Because if you're going for a multidisciplinary project or program and you're letting someone else choose, you may at the end of the day, I don't know, you may not like it or you may like it, I have no idea. But what I'm trying to say is choose. A master's is in sport integrity and ethics, and you can't find that master's anywhere that do sport integrity and ethics in sports. So, but now there are a lot of program, not full program, now there are a lot of courses that are coming out in sport integrity, sport ethics. So you're not just going to study one thing streamlined in one aspect. It opens it a bit. It opens your horizon. And you may think you know what's out there, but I'm telling you, you don't know what's out there. You may think, oh, I study microbiology. I want to do my master's in something related to microbiology, but you don't know that you can do your master's in probably a space where you get also research in a little of zoology, a little of this, a little of probably archaeological science. You don't even know that these are opportunities out there, and you may be saying, oh, but if I study this, can I work with it? Sit down, do like you said. When you do the research, also look at the people that have done the program. If there's nobody that have done the program, it's a new program. Okay, there's always specialization aspect. Like you said, you can do your thesis in one aspect of it. Look at an aspect of what the course offers and see which of them you like to do your thesis on, or do you like to work. And you see that there are people in that space. There are people doing things in that space. So see, you have to do your research. You have to do your research when you're choosing program. So when people are saying, should I choose program based on my experience or my academic, look at what you want to do generally to cut across your interests and what you studied in school. So Joseph, now we've talked about how you need to search the catalog. You've picked a course. So now I've done that. I've picked a course. What can make me stand out? Like I'm putting my application document together. Probably I'm in my penultimate year in the university, so I want to plan ahead, which is a very perfect time to do it. Or I'm currently doing, for Nigerians watching this video, I'm currently doing my national youth service, and I want to start preparing to apply for the master's for the Erasmus program maybe in 2026. What can give me an edge in my application? Because I know the application is going to say write motivation letter, write this. What else? What else can make me stand out?
Yeah, I used to tell students that especially the Nigerian student, right? For those that are watching us from all around the world, sorry about this. I normally talk about Nigerian student, but I feel that there's something you can pick out of this. There's this compulsory 1-year national youth service program that the Nigerian government organizes for our graduates. So I used to tell Nigerian students that, before going for your NYSC, in fact, like, put yourself out there, try these scholarship opportunities, like apply. It's actually free. Like, put in something, apply, and see what the result is going to be like. And probably you can learn 1 or 2 things from there. Failure is not something that you should allow to pull you down, but it should be that platform that should elevate you, right? So test the waters, hear the waters. It is very, very important. Now, moving back to what will make you stand out, it is actually very, very important that you understand the program. Now, the program that you are applying to, you have to understand the program. And the reason I'm saying you have to understand the program is because it is as a result of what you understand about the program. That is what will guide you when you start preparing your application for that program. Now, applying for any Erasmus Mundus scholarship program requires that you become very flexible. And by flexible, I mean that when you read about the program, don't be rigid. Now, for instance, the program says they are looking for students with academic background in mathematics. They are looking for students with academic background in biochemistry. And then you have your academic background in physics, and then you go and apply for that program. That is an automatic disqualification. Like, the program has nothing to do with you. That is why the program did not mention your background. So just leave the program. Enough of this romanticizing. Oh, but I love this program. No, throw away your emotions, because these people, they cannot use emotion to give you scholarship. They are looking for the best people. So I used to tell students, put yourself in their position. If you were in their position and you have money, and you want to give your money out to people to come and study, to come and become successful, are you going to give your money to people that are unserious, quote and unquote? I'm not saying you are unserious, but try as much as possible to put yourself in their position when you are making your decision, because it will really help you a lot. It will really help you a lot. So what will make you to stand out, number one, is when you understand the program. You need to understand the scope of the program. The only way you can understand the scope of the program is when you read very well, like read about the program very well. You need to know the program aim and objectives. Why is the program, why did they start the program? Why are they running that program in the first place? And what kinds of students are they looking for? And what will they, what will they form out of students after the program? So these things are very, very important for you to know, because they will help you to stand out. And the reason I'm saying they will help you to stand out is because they will form the background of your motivation letter. If you don't know about something, you cannot tackle it. So you have to know about it, so that when you sit down to write motivation letter, you will write based on the information you already have about the program. So you will not really stress. See, most people that struggle with motivation letter, I discover that it is because they do not really know about that program. Most of them, they just want to do it in a hurry, and it doesn't work that way. You have to sit and look at that program, understand the program. Another thing again is your CV. CV is very, very important. In fact, they don't joke with your CV. So when they say submit your CV for a scholarship opportunity, it is like them telling you to submit yourself in the form of a paper. So you can imagine, if you want to go to a club, if you want to go to a party, you dress very well to show up very well, so that people can be like, wow, this person, I love your dress. How much more your CV, which is actually you in paper form, in front of the people that want to help you. So you really need to work on your CV. And I used to tell people that your CV must be tailored to the program that you are applying to. All your experiences, they must connect to the program that you are applying to. And another thing is, when we are talking about CVs, it come in the form of your experiences. So everything you'll be having on your CV should connect with that program. The same thing applies to your motivation letter. Everything you are writing has to connect to the program. Your story has to connect to the program. Very, very important. And also, another thing that will actually help you to stand out is try as much as possible to reach out to people, because people will definitely guide you. Don't think that you'll be a perfectionist. In fact, you submit your application and then you sit back, relax, and then you begin to remember some of the mistakes that you've done. Yeah, because you are not perfect. I was in that position during my own application period. I was like, oh, I forgot to include this. Oh my God. And also, please try as much as possible, get good referees, like get good references. Like a good reference, it is very, very important, because they will write very good letter on your behalf, telling the scholarship committee what you've done, your experiences, and how suitable you are for that program, and it will increase your chances. And lastly, right, please graduate with a very good grade. If you want to graduate with a second class, there's nothing there. No, this is actually a competitive program. This is not to scare you. It's a competitive program. And there is also this notion of, there is a 2-1 that is higher than another 2-1. So all of these things, they come to bear. So pay attention to everything and don't leave any stone unturned. So that's it.
Solid. Okay, Joseph, I think this, I'm just going to say, I think I have to invite Joseph again to speak on this channel. So after this one, we're going to see how to lobby that. But I'm just going to highlight what Joseph mentioned. He talked about knowing the program. Talk to people that have done this program, people that are currently doing the program. And that means alumni and current scholars in the program, or even in other programs. They may have experience in just the application process and everything. References, have strong references, because there's nothing better than a good reference, someone that can speak on behalf of you. And probably we'll have a video on how to hack the reference, in the sense of how to get people to write about you, how to get people to write positivity about you. Me and Joseph are both alumni of Nigerian universities. I know when I was trying to get reference, it was like 2 years after school. So I had to go back to the university. No, I had to, start sending email to messages to old professors, because I was that kind of student that did not have a professor as like a bestie or a best friend or something. I just go to class, sit in front, get my notes, and oof, I'm gone. I don't do like those small talk and small chat with professors. I don't know if Joseph have
Yeah,
a
you know,
different experience though.
when
One of me.
I was, I'm sorry to cut in, but
No problem.
I wasn't the type that would, like have lecturers as friends and all of that. But I think I started building that relationship during my finals, and it wasn't something that I planned because I had like an ulterior motive. I wasn't even planning to apply for any scholarship.
Yeah.
But my project actually brought me very close to my supervisor, and I discovered that he kind of found like an interest in me. He gave me like good chats, good advice and all of that. And I was also very lucky. So these are the things that I tell people. Try as much as possible, move closer to your lecturers. The reason we are saying move closer to your lecturer is because we have now realized that it is actually a good thing. Like, move closer to them for a good cause, for a better reason. We have now realized that, if we had known, would have gathered a lot of them as friends, because we were very much overwhelmed with fear. We had this, oh my God, I can't move closer to this lecturer. We were over respectful, which wasn't like good on our part in the long run, because we realized. So I moved closer to my supervisor. We had that communication, we had that get together. We were going along very well, and I think I was the serious student because I took my project very seriously. And luckily for me, I was going to say this, after my project writing and everything, he was even the one pushing me, telling me that it would be better for us to publish something out of my project. So you can imagine. So it was just as if he was building me for something ahead that I never had any, idea about. So move closer to your lecturer,
To your professors.
Yeah, move closer.
But I'm going to quickly say it because Joseph, luckily for him, I think he said in his final year he got to. But if you're like me, that at the end of school you still did not probably get close to your professor. But what I would say is that even if if you're like me that did not do that, there were cases like most of the professors I reached out to that wrote reference to me, they knew me for things, in the sense that, so you are not befriending them, but you ensure that they know you as a good student. I talked about sitting in front. I know I'm those kind of I was those kind of typical student that people are like, but yeah, I sat in front because sitting in back, it's not like I owed anybody an explanation, but yeah, sitting in the back seat was always very distracting for me, and also my eyesight. I always sat in front. Not like I was asking questions, but I always sat in front. So most professors just knew me as that girl that sits in front. Why another one knew me because I was a part of the Red Cross Society, and she was like one of our matron of the Red Cross. So we got to have like one or two chats once a while, and yeah, just know me in that perspective. But some people just know you. Some professors are so good that they just know you, recognize you by your face. And if you've graduated from school and you're like, how do I do this? My professors, I don't think I had no relationship with them. All you have to do is, if you can, go back to the university. Just go visit them. I'm telling you, just one day, you stop by their office, you say hello, and you just remind them, I was this set. Some of them don't need to remember whether you were a good student or not. They just need to know, I taught you. Okay. Yeah. And you let them know that, yes, I'm currently applying for this and I need you to. And some of them will definitely write for you, because it's also make them proud. It's them saying, look at the student that I taught is currently schooling, doing a master's, or got a scholarship, or is currently doing a PhD. It's also feathers to their own cap. So don't think it's not also just you that's going to benefit. For them, they cannot categorically say, student they have taught are currently doing this. And this goes even way down to your people that taught you in your primary school, in your secondary school. They are so proud. Like, if they see you somewhere and you go back to your primary school, you introduce yourself, they are going to be proud and say, student they taught are currently doing PhDs in top universities. Yeah. So teachers, I think it's that way with teachers. These are one of the ways that they benefit from. It's not like in terms of cash, but it's just a kind. It adds feathers to their kind, makes them proud that to know that students they taught has gone ahead to do better things. Even presidents of countries, that's why when the teacher like, oh, I was the one that taught this student. It reminds me of the video that I saw of Adele meeting a primary school teacher. This is from primary school, and the lady was like, oh, Adele was like, you changed my life, you were the one that made me go into this. And this was just primary school. So teachers are very happy about those kind of things. So don't feel bad that you didn't build any relationship with them. You can, if you can go back to see them. If you can't go back, try to reach out to people that are currently doing your program. If they can get their email address and phone number, you just need to call them, send an email. Believe me, you definitely get professors that, but yeah, maybe we'll do a separate video on that. Then lastly, Joseph talked about having a good grade. And I think I want to use this to bounce on our next question. He talked about having a good grade. So when they say school is scam, please don't listen to them. Have a good grade. Even if you're having a good grade, just because you don't know. I think there are things you do. I'm sure Joseph, maybe you agree. There are some things that you do now that you are sowing seed for your future. You may not know where it's going to take you, but you're just doing it now. And I think even academics is like that. Even if you don't know what you're doing now, or how your first class or your 2-1 will pay off, just be excellent in everything you do. So put in the work and ensure you excel. 2-3 years later, something may need you to pull out that certificate, probably for like an Erasmus application. You will be very thankful that you did excellently in it. I actually, I have a fun story. I actually learned swimming because when I was in an undergraduate, because I told myself that maybe in the future I'll have the opportunity to go to Greece one time, and I want to just chill and not be scared of the water. That was why I learned swimming. And when I got to Greece, I was like, okay, it's paying off. And so that's just that's by the side. So Joseph, for good grade, what do you have to say to people? There are people that already graduated with 2-2. So this is not like they are student, they can change it. They're currently already graduate, or they're doing their NYSC program, or they're already in their final year, and they are like, okay, even if I get a straight A this year, I don't think I can still make 2-1 or first class. I am graduating with a 2-2. What can I do? Is Erasmus still the scholarship for me?
Yeah, the thing is, I think we've had cases of people that graduated with a 2-2. Yeah, they graduated with a 2-2 and they still got the Erasmus Mundus scholarship. People will be like, oh, what program is that? What program is that? The thing is, if it is not a program that is aligned to your background, there is no way you can apply to that program and get the scholarship. But then, from personal research on this set of people which have special cases, right? You tend to realize that these people, they have like wealth of experiences in the field. Most of them, they've gone for a lot of conferences. Some of them, they've now published like high impact, like they've published quality papers in high impact journals. A lot of these people, they've done relatable or extracurricular activities and leadership experiences that are related to the master's program that they eventually applied to, even while they had that 2-2 grade. So having a 2-2 isn't actually a death penalty. I used to tell people like that, it is not a reason for you to start feeling bad. You should start asking yourself, how do I raise the bar? I know I graduated with this kind of result, but how do I raise the bar? So you need to start pushing yourself out there. I tell people that if a first class graduate can be running around, getting professional certificates online, going for online courses, taking massive open online courses, going for conferences, both online and offline, hybrid and all of that, how much more somebody that graduated with a 2-2? The responsibility lies more on you because that is your reality. But then what you do after is what matters. So you really need to build, gather more value. Because when you gather more value, it gives these people the impression that despite the fact that you are having a 2-2, you still build, you still try as much as possible to gather things that are very important. And believe me, you can go into the competition pool and you will compete with somebody with a first class, and you might even stand a higher chance of getting that scholarship than the person with a first class. Now, what changes a lot of things is the fact that some Erasmus programs are having interview. some are not having interview. So Erasmus scholarship is not a scholarship that is, enshrined in emotion. You have to come out and prove yourself. And where am I going with this? Somebody with a 2-2 and the person is having a lot of experiences, papers. I'm not saying 50 papers, I'm just saying quality papers, like papers that are strongly related to the program. And then the program coordinators or the people that are organizing the scholarship issuance, they're like, let's bring this guy on board and let's see what he has to offer during the interview. And that candidate comes during the interview, and then he or she competes with a first class candidate, and the person is able to express themselves very well, tell them why the program is important for them, explain their situation, talking about the fact that yes, they graduated with a 2-2, but they've learned moving forward that this and this and this are important. Prove yourself. Let me tell you, these people will 100% give you that scholarship if you can come during the interview, prove yourself, and you do it very well, like better than the first class students will do it. Why am I saying this? I have heard somebody with a first class got to the interview stage. Someone with a 2-1 got to the interview stage. They ended up taking the person with a 2-1 and they dropped the person with a first class. So sometimes it is not about your class of degree. It is actually important, but it is not all there is to getting a scholarship. So there are some other important things that you really need to focus on. I mean, if you even get a first class, you will still be running around trying to get, conference certificates, courses and all of that. So these are things that people really need to understand. Don't allow your 2-2 or whatever results you graduate with from the university to kind of tie you in a position. Free yourself.
Wow, that's heavy. I think whenever I give Joseph one question and he responds, I'm like, this is deep. These are words that no. I think for those watching, don't take this lightly. I think there are some, like Joseph, I applied once and I got it, but I can never remove the impact of the people that helped me. Shout out to Peter Osagbovo. Peter practically told me about the scholarship and helped me through the process. Like, I will have call with him, I will have like sessions with him, and he will explain this, he will help me through this, he helped me review my document. He was also applying, but it wasn't his first time, and he had also gotten other scholarships, so he had way more experience than me. So yeah, many times I see Peter, I'm talking to Peter, I'm like, this guy, thank you so much. But what Joseph is saying, I think it still boils down to what we are saying. You have to be excellent in everything, and you, like you said, it's a package deal. You're not just saying, oh, I got first class, and it doesn't just guarantee that. What have you done outside the classroom? And I just want to have call with students, I tell them, or people in their final year or their NYC, I tell them, this period, use it to garner the experience you can. Volunteer. I run a volunteer committee, the volunteer audit committee. You can check us on Instagram or send me a message or a DM. Volunteer as much as you want to do. Okay, you want to do something in mathematics, you're going for a master's in mathematics, but you just have your 2-1. Even if you have just your first class, no published work, no experience in that field, no leadership, and you want to compete with people from different parts of the world. Let me just chip in this. Erasmus Scholarship doesn't look or focus on people that say, oh yes, I was from a poor background, I didn't eat 3 times a day, please give me scholarship. No. We had people from the US. I had people from the US in my program, and I had people from all parts of the world. I had even Europeans in my program. It's mixed. So you're competing with people from different parts of the world, and they give it to people that merit it. So don't say, oh yes, because you were poor, you think now you will get it. No, there are scholarships that cater to people from low socioeconomic groups, but Erasmus is not one of them. That's not their target. Gain experience as much as possible in the area you're currently studying, in the area you plan to do your master's in. I'm just emphasizing what Joseph said. Publish. If you have opportunity to publish your bachelor's thesis, publish it. Look at it. But if you feel like it's not a publishable material, no problem. try joining research group, check online. There are people always doing, there's some non-profit that they publish work. If you're working with them, you see them, they want to publish, why don't you join the research team? Do a little research, publish, you have your name out there. Leadership, get leadership experiences, all these are accumulated. It's everything they put together. And like you said, the way you present yourself, for those that have interview, the way you present yourself also matters. That's where people judge and say, okay, is this people someone that we want to work with? My program, we did interview. Joseph, did yours? Did you do interview?
Yeah, I did the interview.
Yeah. So I had interview in this.
So it doesn't look like, so it doesn't look like what we are saying is far-fetched. So we actually underwent an interview. So you can imagine.
Yeah, I had my interview in this on my uncle's office, and yes, ensuring I'm being worried like maybe network will go bad. And network actually did go bad. But they were pretty chill, and the professor was like, just don't worry, we have this issue, because there are people that the students are coming from different parts of the world. They know what to expect and say yes. Not everybody will have perfect internet. Not everybody will have perfect lightning or whatever. So they were like, there's no problem. We're going to turn off our cameras so that we see that the internet is better. Then they ask questions. So you have to ensure that you're a full package. So where you are lacking, probably you're getting your first class or 2-1, you're making up from your research, from the experiences you have done, hands-on experiences. And even this transcends just Erasmus, even in real life, when people say, oh yeah, I studied biochemistry, and yes, I want to work here. I got to first class. Then you meet someone else that probably did a 2-2, but the person is telling you, oh, I did a 2-2, I got a 2-2 in biochemistry, but I've worked with this research lab, I've done this research with this non-profit, I've done this. You just have the academics to show. Somebody's telling you the real life hands-on experience. Even as an employer, you know you are going to go for the person the person that you meet halfway. You don't need to train from scratch, or you don't need to show how to use the equipment in the laboratory. So yes, so Joshua already talked about having a 2-2, having a 2-1, having a first class, and how you can make up from that. But I also want to ask a question. There are people that get first class. There are people that have full packages. Like they have the solid experience, they have the solid academically solid outside the classroom, but they have imposter syndrome. They are feeling like this is not. I don't know. Have you ever dealt with imposter syndrome yourself? If you haven't, what do you know? Like, what can you advise them? What you advise to them? People that are thinking, I don't think this is good enough for me. I don't think I'm good enough. How can you talk to these people? What can these people do? What can you advise them?
Well, I would say that imposter syndrome in this situation. I mean, when it comes to applying for scholarship opportunities, I don't think you really need all of that. You don't need to be timid. Like I said, right? Don't forget, guys, Erasmus Mundus scholarship application is entirely free. So you are not losing anything. So why are you scared? A lot of people put themselves in pressure. Like they put themselves in that pressurized space, and they allow you to really get to them. No, you don't need all of that to get to you. I know that you have high expectations, but then you should apply with that feeling that you can be rejected. Anybody can be rejected. And once you have a very good degree, once you have like good experiences, I'm talking about research experiences, leadership experiences, and evidence of publication and all of that, you know that okay, you've written your motivation letter very well, your CV is okay and all of that. You don't really need to nurse any kind of negative idea, even if you can become pessimistic. But I think it is better for you to be 98% optimistic and just leave that 2% pessimism, right? Because anything can happen. It's a 50-50 thing. The fact that you are seeing yourself as the best candidate doesn't mean that somebody is not somewhere that is also seeing themselves as the best candidate. So it is a clash of interest and it is a competition pool. But then you are not the one making the decision, and they are also not the one making the decision. The scholarship committee, the organizers of that program, are the ones that will make the decision. The final decision is, theirs to make. So your responsibility is to gather your document. Let me even say something that is very, very important. You don't need to pay attention to anything that has to do with fear, the outcome of a scholarship application. Your responsibility should be on preparing your application. You see, that preparing your application, in Nigeria we say we die here, die there.
We die there, yes.
Yeah, so focus on, preparing your application. I mean, you shouldn't be for example, if you are a chef, right, and you want to prepare meal, you are not going to be thinking of how people, people that are going to eat the food. No, you are going to first of all, you be like, I must make sure that this food is sweet. That is the first goal. I must make sure that this food is sweet. And then you now start looking at, okay, how many people am I feeding? You cannot even talk about people you will be feeding if you have an idea that the food is not sweet. So try as much as possible, focus on organizing your application, look at it again and again, and be sure, like, have that high level of confidence, and then submit your application. Let me tell you, everybody is scared. Don't think you are the only one scared. Everybody is scared. You only know about your fear. That is why it is gripping you. Everybody around the world applying for a scholarship, they have that same fear that you think you are the only one that is having. No, you are not the only one in this race. So brace up.
Yeah. I'm just going to quickly add this. If you don't try, you're the one that miss out.
Exactly.
If you don't try, because you find out that, I don't know if Joseph, you have experienced this, where you go for a conference and you are so worried, like, oh, am I going to get this? You applied, you got it, then you get there and you find out that your package, in the sense that your CV, you're actually the most outstanding.
Yeah, I'm going to say something. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just, because I will forget if I
okay, say this. Carry on.
When I got to New Zealand, actually, for my first poster. Now, this is actually where it gets very interesting. I don't know if it is weird or something that is not supposed to be happening at this point in time, because for me, I've not done poster presentation before. I've always been giving like talks. So you can imagine, in my PhD level, I'm about to give a poster, which is actually my first. So I struggled with organizing the poster, not because I cannot, like, create a poster, but I was like, I hope this one is going to be like this. I hope they are going to like it, blah, blah, blah. My supervisor and I were going like back and forth. Not like I was the one taking her back and forth. So it got to a point I was like, guy, I think this is actually cool. So she just said, okay, print it. And then I printed it. And when we got to the conference, they displayed my poster up there. Now, to the owner of the poster, it was bullshit. 100%. To me, I'm like, what kind of poster is this? But then to people, onlookers, they were like, wow, your poster looks very cool. I like your research. What are you doing? And then I started explaining what my research is to these people. And a lot of people found interest. And in my head, I'm like, this poster that I'm belittling. Look at the way people are gathering around my poster.
Absolutely.
And in the long run, I got the award for the best poster in that conference. So I told my supervisor that if somebody told me all of this, that you are going to win this award, I will disagree with the person. So you don't know. That is why you have to really put in effort, work on, like, prepare your food, prepare it very well, and wait. When you dish it out, wait for the judgment. So that is it, your responsibility. So now I will digress again. Okay. A lot of people, when they want to apply for a scholarship, the money is actually very important, but they allow the money to overpower them. Oh, how much is this scholarship? $50,000 for a year. Wow, 50,000. So they are carried away by the material that they are going to get when they get the scholarship, forgetting that it is only when they get the scholarship that benefit will follow. So focus on the thing, focus on the bigger picture. Get the scholarship, the benefit will follow. Focus on preparation of that, your scholarship application. Prepare it very well, and the scholarship will come. So that is it.
See what he said now. He said focus on what is within your power, like the one you have power to manage, and which, exactly, like Joseph said, that is your own application. See, we are not saying settle for mediocrity. No, don't misunderstand us. We are saying that you may be thinking that, oh, I'm not good enough for this scholarship. Oh, look, there are going to be more excellent people than me out there. The only thing you need to focus is ensure that your application is excellent. You have to try. See, and when you get to those spaces, you find out that, see, and you see this a lot in all those events and conferences where they say, oh, apply for scholarship to attend this conference. All those, you may be thinking, oh, I'm not good enough to attend this. Oh, I'm not good enough to have been in COPE 26 or COPE 27 or 28. Oh, I'm not good enough to apply. Then you yourself exclude yourself. If you had applied and gotten there, you'd have found out that your CV was among the top 3. There are other people that were selected, other youth delegates from different parts of the world. Some of them have not even done half of what you've done.
Yeah.
I think in this journey, most times I keep reminding myself, because I remember one time I was doing my national youth service and I was chatting with someone like, oh, this is, and the person was like, wow, you volunteered there. And me, I was just playing them because I didn't know. I was like, yeah. So I was like, you have to apply for scholarship. And funny enough, that time it didn't really hit. And this was even before I applied for scholarship still. So this was during my national youth service. I applied for the Erasmus in 2020. I was working already in Lagos, so the COVID break was perfect opportunity for me to sit down and study. So someone had even told me during NYC that you are qualified for scholarship, go and apply. But I didn't apply because I still kept you sure? Are you sure? You just need to try. That's the one that matters. That if you try, you put an excellent application, like Joseph said, you are definitely putting yourself like 1,000 chances of getting it. As we're rounding off, I don't want this to be so long. I want you to get as much as you can from it. And like I said, I'm going to try and get another video with Joseph, but also with other people. Joseph, we've talked about choosing your scholarship, getting the grade, have to be excellent. So I want to say now, as an Erasmus alumni, someone that have gone through this program, what maybe has changed you have learned from, or you have experienced that you feel like has shaped you as an individual that is doing his PhD now in New Zealand? What can you say? Like, what's your major takeaway from Erasmus?
Yeah, regarding the program that I got, that's my Erasmus master's program, it really opened my eyes to a lot of things. Like, you have no idea. I don't think anybody can recover from an Erasmus program that they get at master's level. You cannot recover from it. It will really expose you to a lot of things. And for those of you that will really love to travel, Erasmus is that program that gives you that opportunity to travel all around Europe. I mean, you can use all of your stipend to tour the whole of Europe. So that is like an aspect of the whole benefits, that comes with getting an Erasmus program. Now, if we take it to the professional level, which is the academic level. Now, because of the multidisciplinary nature of each Erasmus program, I, for one, have benefited because when I started applying for my PhD, the remark that I was getting from professionals, like in the US, in Canada, in New Zealand here, it was mind-blowing. So that is when you begin to realize that you have really matured. You've gotten to a level that a lot of people are very much interested in what you have, what you carry. And it is that Erasmus program that has added to your, to your shoulder. It has added a feather to your cap. It paves the way for you. And I remember when I applied for my PhD, right, and I submitted my CV, I would say, unfortunately, my supervisor, like my current supervisor, actually did not see my CV when I applied for the scholarship opportunity. And I think I sent like a reminder email, and she reached out to me and she was like, oh, I'm so sorry, your CV, your document, your motivation letter got into my spam. And I was like, what? Little wonder this woman has not responded to me. But then she now responded to me and she said, what? Your CV is amazing. Like, that email, I have that email. She said, your CV is amazing. And I know for sure that it is not like I just decorated my CV. It is because of the experiences I gathered during my Erasmus program. That was why she said my CV was amazing. And it got to a point that we had like a conversation. I was like, I know you are interviewing a lot of other students, but what can you say about me, for this opportunity? She said, with the look of things, she's not going to move with other candidates. Like, she told me that you are suitable for this opportunity. So I was very relaxed in Portugal.
When someone has told you that you are the one for this opportunity, you have to relax.
Right? I felt relaxed in Portugal. So it is actually very, very important. Erasmus has a lot to offer, and you might not get an opportunity almost immediately when you finish your Erasmus, but something will come. The degree is never going to a waste. I can tell you that for free, and you can confirm from other Erasmus scholars that got their degree from other Erasmus program. They will tell you. In fact, when they started their PhD, they discovered that they don't struggle because they've already understood, or they've already, they are already in that position to really know what it takes to pursue a program, that is kind of bigger than Erasmus, which in this case is like a PhD or whatever you want to do. It will also position you for the industry. So Erasmus is very, very good. I benefited a lot from the program.
Yeah, thank you, Joseph. And even for me, like Joseph is doing his PhD. Me, I'm not doing my PhD. I'm currently working. But even as an Erasmus alumni, I know what I benefited. And I'm not just talking about the going to classes alone. Within that program, I was able to work with a research institute in Canada, which we published a paper on the research. I was able to volunteer for sporting events. So these are, like you said, these are life-changing experiences. You have to apply yourself. But yes, these are experiences that change your life. Like when categorically someone can say, "Oh, an experience. This Erasmus have changed my life." You can't take the experience I gained in 2 years away from me. Like the countries I was able to visit, the people I met, 21 amazing people from different parts of the world. Learning how to work in there are a lot of things we can't even say. You have to come and get your own experience and know what we're talking about. And this is not to say that people that are not doing their PhD currently or doing that went back to Nigeria did not get anything. No, everybody have different plans and directions that they want. You can never take that experience that you get. So it's with anything you do, any task that you do, even if it's not paying off, nobody can take the experience that you get from participating in it. And lastly, I just want to end by saying, join a community. Applying for scholarship is not easy. Joseph said he got it once. Me, myself, I got it once. But we didn't just get it once because we were amazing, I guess. But we also had people around us. At least I had people around us. I talked about Peter and how he helped me. So I wasn't fully in a community, but I had people that I could call my community, people that had done this, people. So that's what we mean. So if you cannot even find a community, like, I'm sure maybe when you say community, you are thinking of the WhatsApp group community. If you can't find one like that, try and ensure you have people around you that you can send an email to or send a WhatsApp message to, and they can respond, that can help you in this. Help you in the sense that not asking them questions that you can find on Google, but helping you in the sense that when you have real practical questions that you want them to explain something for you or give you their perspective on, you can reach out to that and you can get them. So thank you so much for watching this video. I want to say a big thank you to Joseph for joining. Like, we're on practically different time zones. So it's morning my time, it's late night for Joseph, and I want to appreciate him so much for making our time to join me today. But also, I want to say that I will definitely look forward to bringing Joseph back on. I really appreciate him. And like I said, Joseph have a YouTube channel. Subscribe to a YouTube channel. He drops content that are very helpful if you're in this journey. I'm going to drop a link to his YouTube channel here in the box. Joseph, thank you so much. Have a fantastic evening. And for everyone that's watching.
Yeah, and guys, don't forget to also subscribe to Osaze's YouTube channel. There is just the way we express ourselves, and it is very, very different. Like, there is no limit to how many YouTube channel you can subscribe to. So everybody carries different spirit. So yeah, subscribe to Osaze's YouTube channel as well. And learn, guys, learn, and you will be glad. I want people to be like, oh, it was Osaze's channel that I listened to Joseph and Osaze share their experience about Erasmus Mundus. That was where I caught that fire, and then I started looking for scholarship. And yeah, there's always a starting point. So you're welcome. You're welcome, guys.
Yeah. Okay. Bye. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Bye.